You're listening to the Metal Experience. Only on Slam Internet Radio.
Oh man, it's been a while. We are back. Luke Blaze, Morgan Danielle.
2014, bitches.
What? We are here with the mighty Mechina. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves, who's missing, and what you do in the band, and all that good stuff.
I'm Dave Holtz, the vocalist and producer.
There you go. I'm Joe Taberry, guitarist.
It's on. We can. Okay.
Is it on now?
Yes, it is. You're good to go.
This is Joe
First.
Taberry from Mechina, guitar player and also producer.
I don't think that one's on, actually. Here.
Oh, okay.
I can hear him.
Can you hear me? I'm
can
sitting
hear
right
you.
next to you.
It's on. He just had, maybe it's not on the thing. Did he pull the flip switch up there?
All right, as we figure that out.
Hello.
There we
Hello.
go.
Okay.
Just talk a little bit louder.
Up a bit.
Right. So I'm Joe.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah.
Hi. How's it going?
And last year we had you on about the same time.
Yeah,
You
it was
had a
almost a
new
year.
CD released, exactly a year since your last CD came out. You released it around the same time, the first of the years when
Yeah.
the CD got released.
Yep.
So this is the end of the trilogy that you created, correct?
Yes.
So tell us a little about the process that this one took. What's it called?
Wait,
and
who's missing?
Nobody's missing.
this is it.
It's just a
Nobody's
two-man?
This is it now.
Yeah, we
Oh, man.
we did the whole album just as a two-piece, every instrument. It was fun.
Yeah.
It's convenient. So yeah, the process is pretty much as follows. I mean, we pretty much started getting the storyline organized and started connecting the dots in regards to 3 albums. This album and the last 2, and we decided, we're going to keep going with it and do another 3 albums for next 3 years.
So what is the end of the trilogy called?
Xenon is the third
Chapter.
Yeah, it's
Right.
the third
Last
season.
installment.
Last installment, and we don't really have a name for the trilogy. It's more of just a consistent theme and a consistent storyline, and it's very difficult to do that with just audio without like video and animation and stuff like that. You're kind of limited on how much detail you could put in in regards to a story. But we tried pretty hard. But we tried to not lose that in writing music, like making a good song at least, because getting too descriptive with the story can get kind of silly. So it's a hell of a learning experience.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the third installment. Refresh the memory a little bit about what the storyline is and how did you close the chapter?
Well, the chapter's not really closed per se, because there's another 3 albums coming after
Holy
this.
shit.
Yeah.
So it's every
So it's like Star Wars.
Yeah, we're doing
Yeah.
Go back and...
we decided that we weren't going to go after that because we right at the end of finishing up Xenon, we kind of actually did some brainstorming on how we were going to tie the next 3 albums in, and it did come.
So it's like a
closer.
prequel?
No,
The
it's
next
just,
3 albums?
just
Are they...
all-
It's an ongoing theme, and what we try to do is, instead of, because we're like big, I know I am a massive sci-fi nerd, so we implement like a lot of that sci-fi futuristic kind of stuff into it. It's weird, but what we try to do is connect the 3 albums through one character. We use stuff like the theory of simulated universes and stuff like that. It's weird. It's weird stuff. I mean, it can get really detailed. I mean, I'm sure we'll talk more about details, but it's like it's trippy, but we enjoy it. It pretty much, to summarize, the character, which really doesn't have a name, is also like based on. The character is also, it's supposed to connect to as the listener. So the listener is the character to a certain degree.
Kind of like the choose your own story scenario?
Well, people do that
Yeah.
automatically with music. They'll, if you give them, even without a direct story, they'll make up their own. So we try to let the listener do that without losing what we want to say. and whether that goes from politics, religion, conflict, technology, stuff like that. We try to take big picture situations that we want to discuss and bring them down into something a little bit more specific, and that's how we implant those throughout a story and locations and stuff like that. And it's nice doing kind of a sci-fi based story, because you can kind of get away with going a little bit over the edge, and but we stuff like that.
What year is this take part in? Is it futuristic? Is it current?
Xenon's in 2632.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
I mean, yes.
Yeah,
In the future.
The futures. Yeah. So, yeah, the Xenon in Conqueror and half of Empyrean, it's on Earth in 2150 something. 2152, I think.
21.
And then and halfway through, based on that simulated universe concept.
You crazy.
It's weird. It'll make sense if I can actually describe it properly.
Yeah.
Okay.
The thing is, once it's all done, I mean, kind of something we're going to be working on is kind of writing out the entire story. Not necessarily like a book, but like just a big description, so you can actually read it and really understand.
You need
more
a graphic
in-depth.
novel, really. You need to find an illustrator.
Oh, you wait.
Yeah, we got plans for that, but it's since we've been so busy writing, and since we do an album a year every January 1st, we haven't had the time to sit down and script it out and then put it out and make sure it's actually legit, and then put it out for people to read. But that's something, now that we've got some breathing room for the next few months before we start on the next album, we're going to get that out for people to kind of soak in,
Well, let's hear the first track off of the new CD. And again, what is that called?
Xenon.
Yeah, that's
Xenon?
the title track.
That's the title
All right,
track.
so that is starting with an X. I never figure out how to pronounce those, but Xenon? Xenon? Okay, I'm going to probably have to write that out later. So what's the first track called on the album?
Xenon.
Yeah, it's the title track.
Jesus, I'm an idiot.
Come on, Morgan.
We've been gone for 3 weeks. I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't even know where I am.
All right, here is Xenon.
listening to the Metal Experience. Only on Slam Internet Radio.
And we are back. In case
And
you're...
Holy balls.
Yeah, in case those ears exploded, get a Q-tip, rub them out a little bit. I'm sure that they are
quick
just...
rub, big rub.
Just coming from that awesome noise. That was Mechina.
That was awesome noise.
Yes, that was Mechina. And once again, that's off of the new CD that got released January 1st. What is that album called, Joe?
Zedon.
Good, because I didn't remember
And that was
at
also
first.
the name of
yeah.
that track we just heard.
Yes.
Oh, epic. So tell us a little bit. So many questions running through my mind right now. When you ended the last album for Empyrean, how did the writing process start for this album? I know that you were already starting ideas the last time. So when did you start recording, and how did you come up with that storyline?
Well, it's funny because actually the first of the year I don't remember when we started writing like specific tracks. I know there was a lot of demoing going on here and there was some instrumentals that I made that I eventually saved and used for this album. But honestly, this album was written, recorded, mixed, mastered, and finalized in about 2 months.
Holy shit.
We started pretty much. We went down. Dave and I went officially like into the studio, and about there's a fight right after Thanksgiving.
Two hotties are like,
They are
Oh,
humping it in
Please
the
fall.
street.
Please fall.
Yeah.
Just let their knees give
Look
out.
at that. Sex in the middle of the street. Now they're going to make out. Oh, there was
yeah.
kissing.
This is great for no
This
one.
is way better.
Hey, for those that want to call in, it is 773-657-3341. We can talk about chicks making out in the middle of the street in Chicago. We
Or
can talk
Mechina.
about Mechina's
Either
new
one.
awesome album.
I don't know. That was pretty.
Either
cool.
one. I mean, you can listen to Mechina while you watch girls kissing.
and what was
It's
that phone
perfect.
number again, Morgan?
It is 773-657-3341. That's our station line. Check it out. Dial it. Okay, so 2 months this album was written.
We started around Thanksgiving. Really, that's
There's
space spaghetti.
space spaghetti. Coming at you, Flesh God.
You just put stickers over regular spaghetti.
Yes.
Actually, that's called painter's tape.
Is that on your
There you go.
Facebook page?
Huh?
Is that on your Facebook
Yeah.
page?
Yeah.
Actually, it's on Flesh God. Oh wait,
Well,
they
it
took
was.
it down.
They took it down, but
Yeah,
we put it on Flesh God's
we
page,
were
but they
trolling
took it
Flesh
down.
God.
We're
Yeah.
talking right now for anybody that knew. Flesh God Apocalypse a month ago actually announced that they were creating pasta because they are from Italy. They have decided to release a pasta line. Like bands are starting to come out now with food products.
Have you
and
tried
beer.
it? Have you guys tried
No.
They, Mechina, have created their own pasta of just buying it in stores and putting stickers on it, which
It's-
is legit. It's
I-
still Mechina pasta.
It's called space pasta.
Space
Yeah.
pasta.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's special.
It's from the future.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm curious. What makes Flesh God pasta Flesh God pasta?
Label.
Yeah, the fact that they... I mean, it'd be cool if they were in the shapes of each player.
wine,
and
too.
then...
That's a little harder to make, but I think pasta you can just kind of rebrand something else.
All
Right.
I mean, it's business.
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, we're businessmen now.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny, though.
No, I mean, pretty much at the end of at the middle of November is when things started getting crazy, and then once Thanksgiving was over,
Once the pasta was released,
Yeah,
to the
right.
world,
That was our main focus,
Space
and then we wrote
pasta.
an album.
yeah, food
Like a week.
yeah, the food coma was over, and then we started, and I literally lived in the mixing room for about a month, so it was rough.
It was
fun.
The update pictures were very dark. I feel as if you took those all at like 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
I mean,
Lack of sleep, bags
I,
under
I'm not
eyes.
I'm not proud of this, but there was multiple times I was running about 30 to 40 hour like sessions back to back.
Jesus,
to
dude.
get it done. And
Again, you are a robot that rockstar powers.
Battery acid.
Trust me, I don't want to do that again, but I would if I had to. But this time we're gonna start a little bit earlier in the year, and not 2 months before.
So when you write, how do you start? Do you start with writing the
Well,
storyline?
let me
and-
before you go into that. Do you feel as if it was rushed, or you feel like you put out an awesome product in this album?
Well, Dave.
I feel like the product is really good. I mean,
I mean,
I
that
didn't put
first
in-
song we heard was fucking awesome.
thank you. I mean, I didn't put in as much as far as like the mixing and everything like that, because that's really Joe's area. But I mean, what came out is really awesome, and I mean the feedback. You know, everyone's saying this is the like the best album we've ever done. So I mean to me, I mean that whether we feel it was rushed or not, the feedback's been really great. So
did you guys have as many pre-sales as you did last time for this album, or did you have even more?
The response, I mean, both sale-wise and just pre-sale. The pre-sales were fine, but the day after the release, like the response was the first week, honestly, of the album release, the response was actually exponentially more than I assumed it would be.
More than last year?
Oh yeah, hands down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I can't. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of like nitpicking on Facebook likes and all the little things like that. I mean, I understand they mean something to a certain degree, but you release something, you get 15, 20 likes in a week, cool, whatever. We're still considered a local band, and in the first 4 days we get like 600-700 likes out of nowhere.
Wow.
And you're
Damn.
just like, okay, well, something worked.
Yeah,
there, I
something
guess,
clicked.
So and we didn't promote anything. We never promote anything. We don't do photos.
Who's doing the promoting for you, do you
We
think?
don't do promotion.
we don't. Yeah, this is
we write music.
it's
You
all
are-
it's word of mouth.
It's crazy that you're local, but you guys are so underground, and it's got to be the European scene.
Oh yeah.
What's the
Yeah,
craziest?
Chicago doesn't like us.
Chicago?
Well, I mean, you guys don't play
I
shows.
love you guys.
We love you,
No,
but
Nobody likes when
there's
we
no
play
show.
shows either.
Here's the thing. You guys are the exception, but like
Yeah.
we've played Chicago since we were 16, and that was 10 years ago.
I
'Cause,
mean-
this is our 10th year as a band, and you know what? We've had no more than 2 months of momentum in Chicago, and then just no one cares. And every time we've done shows, even if we're away for a while, because there's always that fight whether you say, well, you got to play a lot so people remember you, or well, you're playing too much, nobody cares. So you find that balance, whatever. But last few years we've played. I mean, Chicago doesn't respond, and we don't. That's why we don't play much anymore. And and you know what? The Europeans and the South Americans, South America, Europeans, the Scandinavians, they're all about it.
where's the craziest place that you guys sent the CD this year?
Actually, we haven't printed CDs.
They're all the USBs.
USBs and digital.
Right.
Yeah.
The craziest place that the USB went.
Which, thank you, by the way.
Yeah,
USB
that is
fucking awesome.
amazing.
I don't even know. I just write the addresses down and ship them out. I could.
A lot of Russia.
Germany's into it.
Yeah.
Finland's into it. Russia's into it. And I noticed a lot of French and people from Spain. So those seem to be the people that are most interested. I think
Israel too.
I sent
That was weird.
I sent one to South Africa.
Nice.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, the weirdest place I've ever shipped a CD was, I think it was like an island off of Turkey. That's how weird it was. I don't know what
You seriously should consider, if you're huge over there, to find somebody that would book you for a tour and play over
A
there.
distribution or a
Because
distribution
I know that there
label
was
from
talks
overseas.
of possibly even just doing a show in England, but you guys should. There are bands that just only tour Europe because they have a huge scene over there that they can make the money that they're looking for and be able to experience with different bands that they can
And
actually
all
draw with.
stupid Americans.
They are missing out. I fucking tell you, because we saw you at Claus and. Holy
No,
shit.
we have a phone call.
We do have a phone call. For the first
Swear
of
to God, if it's Gibby.
2014.
Yeah, if Gibby's calling, I'm gonna punch him next time I see him.
Hello, this is the Metal Experience, and you are first caller 2014.
Oh, cool.
Who is this?
This is George with Waterlife.
Oh, it's
George!
What's up,
Speaking
buddy?
of Claus, you are on the dot.
Oh, really? I got a delay on my radio. I was just hearing Joe say that they don't have a big following in Chicago, and I think he's crazy because I know a lot of people still ask me about you guys all the time.
Well, George, it's good hearing from you, dude.
He's saying that because
like, "I
he
miss you."
locks himself in his studio and doesn't see the outside world for 5 days.
I think there's partly just a jaded side. You know, we've really worked really hard over the last few years, and there came a point where we were so tired of George, you're an exception. You actually book good shows,
Right.
But there's a lot of people that don't book good shows, and it gets really exhausting sometimes, and sometimes it's not worth the time and gas money, even though you do it for the passion, but it becomes, even financially, it gets difficult to, say, drive to Milwaukee and play a show for 10 people.
Right.
At that
Right.
point, it's not worth it.
Not worth it.
But I mean, there seems to be a momentum. I bet we could book a show and do pretty good. But I find a lot of pleasure in writing
Yeah.
than performing, unfortunately. But I mean, things are always, you never know. You never know.
Well, you guys are pretty good writing, so.
Well,
Thanks, George.
You're the man.
Well, George, tell us a little. Happy New Year, by the way. We haven't talked to you in forever. What is Water Life doing now? Do you guys have Claws up and going yet, or any shows coming up that you're planning? And
No, right now we're just taking it easy. Joseph went back to school, so he's focusing on that and work, and I'm just focusing on work and just writing tunes and just same old, really. Right now we don't have anything planned for shows, but hopefully down the road we'll see what happens.
yeah, absolutely, because we miss you guys.
Well, we miss you guys too.
We love you.
And Happy New Year.
Happy New
All
Year.
right, man.
Well, thank you so much for calling, George. You
Thanks,
are
George.
first caller 2014. And we can do a second caller, too. So 773-657-3341. And we can call in and talk to more people.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, see you,
All right,
George.
thanks,
Thank you,
Take it
George.
easy.
No problem.
Okay, so really fast, Dave, did you do your first homework assignment for 2014?
Yeah, I did.
What?
Yeah, I did. All right.
Exactly.
Let's hear it from the soundboard.
You cut off your own sweeper?
No?
That
Funny
wasn't
guy.
turned up the whole way?
Oh, that was my fault.
Yep, cut it off.
Anyway,
Starting off with a bang, Dave.
a bang and a wicked scar on my arm.
Oh, snap. Oh,
Nasty.
That is pretty nasty.
Dave decided to get hit in hockey.
And I took a bad fall and didn't
Took it like a
Broke his
bitch.
arm and had surgery last year.
Yeah, if you notice that now my arm is like completely straight. There's no bump here anymore. Now it's like a steel plate and screws.
That's disgusting,
Nice.
Dave.
You got a bionic arm.
I wish. I actually don't have any range of motion on my wrist. Yeah, this is as far as I can bend it.
Oh my
How's
God.
your slap shot?
That's actually pretty good because I shoot right-handed anyway. So,
Well, there you go.
but anyway,
My slap shot is bionic.
It's from the future.
I haven't actually got a chance to play because I just had the cast off the other day and I have a temporary split now. But I'm just supposed to, by doctor's orders, actually, believe it or not, I'm actually supposed to play more video games.
That's
So-
awesome. That's
Yeah.
the best recovery
Yeah,
process
yeah,
ever.
yes,
That could have
what-
gone a number of ways.
He's like, well, I told him like, oh, I'm like, what I do for work, and he's like, well, you can do that, and like if you play video games, you can do more of that. Just get your range of
And
motion
that's your
back. in
physical
hand.
therapy. No doctor needed.
Yeah, just work with a stress ball or whatever.
Listen,
but
you are gonna play more video games.
Or you can jerk off.
Listen,
I'm right-handed.
I can't come into work today because
I
my
mean-
doctor says I need to play
Yeah,
video games.
then you just fantasize that somebody else touching your dick.
yeah, but I can't even make a proper fist. This is like good a fist as I can do actually.
I mean, it feels a little weird at first, but then you get used to it, I guess.
I
All right, Dave, go on
know,
with
but
the show.
I can't even grip anything. It's really
We'll
weird.
stop talking about you jerking off awkwardly and
Well, what do you got for us, Dave?
Speaking of awkward, Against Me is really streaming their long-awaited album. It's called Transgender Dystopian Blues.
all right, that's super awkward. Continue.
Yeah, and it's on National Public Radio too. It's on NPR.
Okay.
And Bad Religion, Floggy Molly, Dillinger Escape Plan have been added to Download Festival.
What? That's pretty awesome. Too
Yeah.
bad it doesn't happen in the States.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to be playing with Avenged Sevenfold, Linkin Park, performing Hybrid Theory, Aerosmith, Rob
What?
Zombie, Fall Out Boy, Alter Bridge,
Aerosmith.
The Offspring, Steel Panther, Status Quo,
This sounds like a pretty sweet lineup.
Black Label Society, Bless the Fall,
I mean,
Buck Cherry,
Seeing Hybrid Theory
Cherry
it's in its
shows up out of
entirety.
Huntress in Flames, Let's see. Miss May I, Opeth, Power Man 5000.
Nice.
They're still together?
Power Man 5000 is awesome. Don't hate.
I'm not hating. I'm just asking if they're still
Don't
together.
hate.
A Skid Row. They're going to be there.
What?
Suicide
I want to
Silence.
go. I want to go now.
Tesla.
Suicide Silence, by the way, has a new vocalist. He is the singer from All Shall Perish, and they just released a new track. Haven't heard it yet. Should look
And
that up.
Trivium.
Okay.
Nah, no one cares. We also got... who's that? And Black Dahlia Murder.
Woo! That's a pretty
That's a
good
pretty
lineup.
sweet lineup.
I can't believe Aerosmith is playing at the same stage as Linkin Park. It's going to be a kind of weird transition.
There's a lot of
Hold on. No,
weird
wait.
bands and then Aerosmith.
Yeah.
and Fall Out Boy with
And Buck
Rob
Cherry.
Zombie and
Buck Cherry.
Well, no, Buck Cherry's not so weird. Buck Cherry is actually signed on to Century Media now. Is that not weird? Just saying. All
And
right.
speaking of Fall Out Boy, they're going to be playing the halftime show at the Pro Bowl.
Great.
What?
Hey,
yeah.
it's better than Bruno Mars playing the Super Bowl.
Why? Yeah. Why isn't Bruno Mars playing the Pro Bowl and Fall Out Boy just dying?
Because they
something.
have
That-
bills to pay, I guess. I don't know.
That's
What?
lame.
That was this. What?
I don't know what they...
I think that's super lame because it's like football is a manly sport, and then Bruno Mars.
Well, they can't
which
have
is
any-
the epitome of pussy.
Well, they
So-
ever since the whole Justin Timberlake thing, from what I've heard from people who mentioned work with people who book the shows, they want to have more family friendly entertainment.
Okay.
Because I've seen a bunch of sweaty dudes tackling each other is family friendly.
Enough, and better than having
With
the
all
Rolling-
the drinking and fighting and arguing, because that's family friendly.
And then there's
Oh,
the well,
snap.
they did try out the Rolling Stones for the Super Bowl show. Remember
They're
that?
too old.
And then they had Prince. They had Prince.
That's too gay.
Yeah, that's
What else you got for us, Dave?
old Bruno Mars.
All right, Stick to Your Guns has announced U.S. tour dates
I think I'm going to that show.
at Mojo's.
March 27th?
Yep.
Yeah.
By yourself.
No, with my brother. From the same mother.
Okay.
Who also? I'm not going to that, right?
I hope not.
Okay, and Warped Tour is announcing next round of bands.
Ah, I'm already excited. Devil Wears Prada got added. Attila's already added.
Attila?
Attila.
Tira. Let's see. Yeah, it says. Let's see. Warped. Yeah, Fine Folks Warped Tour is the Devil Wears Prada. The Ready Set. Chunk No Captain Chunk.
Chunk, no, Captain Chunk.
Teenage Bottle Rocket
Nope.
mixtapes. Stay from the Path and For Today. You can go on the website to get more listed. Yeah.
What sucks is they announce all these awesome bands and then they pick and choose when they want to play. So that's the disappointment I'm waiting for.
I thought this point was just called Warped Tour.
Nope.
For the most part, it is.
Nope.
What else you got for us, Dave?
All right, last one. Music videos released from The Architects' Naysayer.
Naysayer.
Yeah, UK metalcore. No,
Yep.
no one cares.
I just said that. I'll have to look them up.
And that's it.
All right. Well, thanks, Dave.
Grab me
Thanks,
one of
Dave.
them Jari Ranchers.
All
What
right.
flavor?
Well, there's so
pick.
much music to still hear, and I am dying to hear another couple tracks. So, what
Let's
are
play
the
a
next?
twofer.
I was gonna say, what are the next two tracks on the album that we can listen to as we suck on our great Jolly Rancher flavors?
Watermelon.
I got
The
raspberry
next one
lemonade.
is Alithia is the next song,
Olivia?
and then
then?
Zodicus.
Oh my God, it sounds so erotic.
Ironic?
Erotic.
Ironic?
What is like ironic with
Well, that's the
erotic?
definition of
No.
irony.
Erotically
Erotic.
ironic?
Erotic is what I meant to say. It came out weird. I'm
Sounds
sorry.
so
okay?
erotic.
I'm super tired and I hate people today.
Okay.
Sexy and ironic.
At the same
At
time.
the same time.
But it turns out to just be like... So,
Oh,
like
we got a phone call.
Oh, the
Oh.
Second caller, hold that thought.
caller, are you ironic?
Or erotic.
Yes, speak to me in your most erotic voice.
Oh, I'm so dumb. I do apologize.
Give me your most ironic voice caller.
Maybe this guy's trying to order a pizza?
Wrong number. Yeah. This is the Metal Experience. You are caller number 2 of 2014. Who is this?
This is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing great. We are here with Mechina. Did you have a question for the band or anything that you were calling to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I had a question for the band.
Go for it.
Whenever you guys post songs onto like YouTube or Facebook page, you always get a bunch of comments of, "Hey, this is awesome, great work." But then you always get a lot of comments of, the mixing is crap, and the drums are too loud, the guitars are too quiet, and I can't hear the vocals. And I mean, it seems like it happens so often. You guys even had to release a Empyrean version 2. So I was just curious, like, how is that tough to see those kind of comments? Do you take it personally? Do you just take it as constructive criticism and go back and look at it, or how does that happen once you read those kind of negative comments?
Our callers have gotten more intelligent.
Ooh,
I fucking love
that was
this
a good
shit.
I like
one.
this guy.
Kevin, call in every week.
Well, considering we write and everything is self-produced, and most 99% of everything is done by us, it does get what happens usually is we try to filter out what if it's constructive, you'll know, and sometimes you'll know whether it's objective or subjective. If it's the subjective opinion, like, oh, I think this song sounds like crap, then you usually just say, well, you can't please everyone. But if you see a trend, like saying like, oh, something is wrong here, and that's what I did notice about the first release of Empyrean, is that there was a common thread between the negative comments that I had to take seriously. So that's usually when we decide to to change it, because otherwise we're just pigeonholing ourselves into a hole at that point. So it does get hard, and it does get slightly exhausting, and people do know that we listen to them, and we did notice recently that a lot of people know that we listen to them, so they make their opinion extra out there, and like everybody's got
very
an
well
opinion.
known.
Everybody wants to let us know exactly what's wrong with it.
Right.
So we just gotta, it's difficult to a certain degree, but it depends on how you look at it, and
It's constructive criticism.
I'll take constructive.
Right, yeah, all day.
Yeah, the constructive criticism is good, and more people should be open to it. But I think that you just got to decide when it's as an artist or a musician, or when it's time to just say, I'm done catering to the opinions, and I want it a certain way.
Right.
But once again, there's a difference between just being an artist and then being in the business. So we can't, if we want to be in the business, you have to listen to your the consumer, so to speak, to a certain degree. And it's weird. It's I haven't found the balancing act yet, but we try to write. Luckily, all the opinions are simply based on mostly technical aspects and not so much musical. I mean, of course you'll have negative feedback.
You guys suck dicks.
Yeah.
And at that point, I just say thanks. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And you just move on. But it's just deciphering the comments on, and that's why we release stuff throughout the year, so we're almost beta testing our sound.
Right. And that helps us, with the final product. Like you say, you see us throw stuff up on YouTube, and good examples, Phaedra, off this new album. We put that up a while ago, and everyone was talking about the mix, and we went through the serious comments and took that to heart, and I think it came out exponentially better, So that, like Joe's saying, we do beta test a lot of stuff throughout the year while we work on an album.
Yeah, people see it as a single, but we see it as a beta test.
Right.
We put it out there as like, okay, let's test the water and see where we're at and see if we're onto something or not. And then we take the feedback and we go back in the studio and we fix and adjust and try to always make better.
Kevin, a couple questions for you, actually. How did you hear about Mechina, and what's been your favorite song that they've released so far?
I think I actually found them through Last FM, just as a related artist to someone else I knew. I don't even remember which band it was. I don't know what my favorite song is. I mean, I probably listened to Andromeda the most, but that's because I was just waiting for Empyrean last year. So I've been listening to Xenon just as many times through as I can, so I can't really pick out a specific song. But it's all awesome, so I got
Cool,
no
thank
complaints.
you. We
Where are you
appreciate it,
calling
Kevin.
from? Just out of curiosity. I won't stalk
Colorado.
you. Where?
Colorado, so I'm not one
Very
of
cool.
That's fucking
Crazy
awesome.
different
Are you
countries.
smoking a bowl right now? Just drifting
Jesus,
off
there it
into drifting off into like the futuristic space.
No, not right now.
I have one question
After
for
you
you.
hang out.
Too early.
Now, Mechina put out Space Spaghetti. Will you purchase Mechina's Space Spaghetti?
Well, that sticker sounds pretty official. It's like,
Well, just to let you know, space is spelled wrong. So does that make it any better for you?
I did notice that. I thought
Yeah,
that was a little odd. I saw that
space.
Spasse. It's got that Italian ring to it. I
Yes.
like it. I'll
No, it's
never
French.
call it
It's
spaghetti
French.
gun.
Yeah.
It will always be spasse.
Well, thanks, Kevin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice
that
talking
was
to you, Kevin. Thank you,
awesome.
Kevin. That was awesome.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Have a great night. Well, here we go. The two more songs.
The two more songs. What were they again?
Olithia and
retarded.
Zadicus. These are for Kevin.
Get that bowl ready.
You're listening to the Metal Experience. Only on Slam Internet Radio.
Woo, 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 woo.
3 tracks in out of how many on that new Mechina CD?
10.
10. This is the Metal Experience. This is the first show of 2014. We are sitting here with Mechina playing their new CD.
Hello.
Those last 2 tracks, what were those called?
Alithia and Zodicus.
Woo! Those that want to call in still, the phone lines are open. 630, that's not our phone number. 773-657-3341. Again, it's 773-657-3341. Where can people find the album so far to download it or to
And
buy
everything
it?
Mechina.
And everything Mechina.
Actual merchandise is usually found on well, everything that's left, honestly, at this point is at mechinamusic.com. But usually, all our music is available Bandcamp. I think it's mechinamusic.bandcamp.com or something like that. It's on. You just Google it.
Or
and then,
Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, we're pretty much on all the digital distribution, and then we've with the USBs that we've been selling with our discography. That's on our website. And I mean, we're slowly going. Obviously, you got to have merch, but we do like the digital stuff, and it's real convenient. So pretty much online, you can find pretty much torrent sites. It's up there.
Oh yeah, I was there the day after it was released. Well, the day it was released, they were on there.
How do you feel about that? By the way,
There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah,
I just
do you have that? I know some artists they'll be like, however you.
I would feel
our music
honored
is-
that someone was like, "This is good enough." That
Does it bother you that people are getting it
it's
for
on a
free?
website
Do you really
like
care
that?
about just being heard, or
well,
were you?
if you think about it like this, like okay, if 1,000 people download your album, part of your brain says, well, if 1,000 people bought the CD, we would have made 10 grand, and for like 2 dudes just writing music, that would have been awesome. But then you're like, they weren't going to pay for it anyway. They already had made up their mind before the album was released. So it's a lost cause, and you know what? It's just more people hearing it at that
the
point.
fact that they have your music is
you're
what's
not.
more important.
It's not. You're not going to fight it, and you're not going to win. The internet always wins, and so you just accept it and appreciate. You look at the positives of it because the negatives are just the way they are.
Well, not according to Metallica. They can still cry about their album being downloaded.
Well, you know what? I don't have Metallica money.
Yes. So
I don't have those type of lawyers.
What is a couple of the conflicts that come up on this album in this story? Like, what are some of the themes or the subjects that come up in this?
You want to take
part of the
this?
journey.
There's a lot.
Should we do the Lithia part?
Yeah, we can do
Okay.
that.
Oh boy. Okay, here we go. So the main conflict, because Conqueror was based off of Earth with 2 governments in 22nd century. The Andromeda or single is our character. Andromeda was the ship that the character floated in orbit around Earth as it fell out from the warfare. Empyrean was the character going back to Earth. I'm summarizing for it to make sense, so it's just
Right.
beginning of Empyrean is the character / listener returning to Earth and seeing it after the war. Halfway through that is where he glitches out and wakes up in a different universe, so to speak.
So it's no longer in like the Milky Way galaxy. It's in this totally new galaxy.
That is what we allude to.
Okay.
And then halfway through Empyrean, the latter end is where Empyrean is a planet. He's actually above and looking down on. He woke up from a simulation, so to speak. Earth was a simulation, and then in Xenon, the person who pulled him from the simulation is a new character that we named Alithia, and this female character kind of guides him through his conflict of not having a memory of where he's from, because all his memory is based off of on
a
Earth.
simulation. Like
You could make
it's
these
fake
in the
then.
video games
Oh my god.
with the soundtrack being the albums.
Well, so,
The opportunities for them is endless. The future cannot.
Well, that's also why we picked the sci-fi thing.
Yeah.
You can play with that type of stuff. So the conflicts are really this character trying to find. We reference a lot about finding home and finding your memories.
And becoming a new person.
Well,
You're really
trying to
having
figure out
rebuild
who
yourself.
you are, and and seeing the world of Empyrean, which is supposed to be a futuristic, just city, so to speak, where things are perfect. And we talk about utopia and the conflicts conflicts between how the augmentation of like how we're going to advance with machinery and technology, because we will all eventually start implementing that in the future.
Are these people humans? Are they like us, or do they have any like super
Well,
powers or?
Oh boy, that's the next conflict.
Yeah, I mean that I think that's gonna be.
I
more
don't
the
think
next
2 hours
album.
is enough for this show. Honestly, I could go on and on. We could sit here all night.
Let's summarize with this, because we
Yeah.
did allude at the end of Xenon, because we did want to leave it with a very. We wanted, like at the end of a movie that obvious you see it and you're like, obviously they're making a second one. We did,
Obviously.
Yeah, we did that with Xenon. We don't want to divulge too much of the story for the fourth album. Oh my God. But pretty much at the end of Xenon, he gets Alithia finds a way for him to retrieve his memory, and at the end when he awakes from the simulation, Lithia's gone, and then he's actually back in the same state that he awoke in Empyrean, and there's a new AI machine that takes control of him.
What?
So then he now has his memory, and he realizes the connection with Alithia from his past and all this other stuff. And this is why I say it's very difficult to write lyrics and music to be we can't be specifically detailed without images. So we have to allude a lot of this with sound, and we use violins to reference Alithia, because violins are connected traditionally with females.
They're graceful. They're feminine.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's straight out of
Straight out of Compton.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's straight out of the movie, like soundtrack rule book. So we try to use a lot of audio cues and even sound design to try to replicate circumstances. And there was a very little dialogue in the album. We didn't want to have like a spoken word album, so we tried to mask it. And because once again, there's a difference between being clever and stupid, and it's a very, very small line that you can cross over when you want to try to do something as complex. Because it's almost like you almost wish I want to write a metal song. Then it's like not interesting to me.
Not a metal orchestra.
Well, no, it's just like we really enjoyed. We spent hours sitting around just talking and brainstorming,
storyboarding everything.
Didn't touch anything musical, and that was actually almost more enjoyable than writing the music. It was figuring out how we're going to take a story and try to transpose it into sound without it being just a.
And why didn't you film a documentary while you did this? The Mechina DVD could be on shelves now. That could be the next.
One more person in the studio would just be annoying.
But all you have to do is set. I mean, set a camera up on a
Set it and
tripod.
forget it.
If you guys are just sitting on a couch the whole time, or keep a camera on you and film, each other. And then put it together in a DVD, and the next album could be a dual disc, and you can have a DVD along with for the next album.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so.
Oh my God. Endless possibilities. And for those that want to call in, there's so many more questions I have. I'm sure you do too. 773-657-3341. Before we go on to another Mechina song, because I'm like desperate to hear the rest of this album.
Desperate.
I was going to ask, when you're writing, when you're trying to think of like the storyline, when you're bouncing back ideas back and forth, how do you come up with the names? Like, are these names that already exist, or are you guys just creating all this?
The song names specifically?
Yeah, and the characters. Like, where did you get this knowledge?
Where did you get this higher knowledge?
Some of it is, mythology and things like that, and it's just weird how, not weird because, we read into it and things like that, how they tie in to the story. And it's not that the story's based off of any mythology or anything like that, but that's a big part
A
of
lot,
it.
a lot of the names are like we simply use its translation of what the root meaning of it is, and then we connect it to another meaning in the story. So the song names aren't really meant to be like specific. They're meant to just be symbols almost at point. You know, if we were to they're like bullet points, just different colors, so to speak.
So
And,
what does Empyrean mean?
that means place in the sky made of fire, I believe.
Okay, and then
Xenon means foreigner, and that's what we implement. You know, being the character being so lost and being in a new world and stuff.
and
like
then
that.
the chick, what was her
Olivia.
name meaning?
Olivia means oh dear, what did it?
I don't remember.
Well, you can look that up, and we can ask you later. Let's.
I can't believe I
Holy
forgot.
shit!
Yeah.
Let's hear a couple more tracks off that album. What are the next 2 tracks? Because I know
Playing
that.
a twofer.
Yeah, we're playing 2 for again because this is just too
It's
epic.
Tareya and
Tartarus.
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 Oh, the 2 T's.
To the world of the soul.
listening to the Metal Experience. Only on Slam Internet Radio.
Epic is the only word that can describe this installment of Mechina's latest release. Again, we are here with Mechina, and for those that want to call in and talk, we are still on air for at least another half hour, probably another 45 minutes, because that's what we do. 773-657-3341. We've had some very intelligent questions tonight, so please call in and be a part of the experience. And those last two songs, it was a TT. What were those?
It was Terea was the first one, and then Tataris.
Holy shit.
Was the second one.
What does it mean?
I forgot again.
Oh, God.
Trust. Oh wait.
We actually in the studio we called Tartarus. We called tartar sauce.
Yeah.
Just because it was easier to say when
Yeah.
we were writing stuff. Yeah. So you can call it that too.
tartar sauce.
So when making albums like this, let's do a positive and a negative. What's the most rewarding part that you guys feel that you guys accomplished when making it, like your favorite part, and what's the worst part of making the album? Like the whole process in general. It could be afterwards.
The
It could be
afterbirth.
just looking at each other
Yeah,
for hours
being
on
in
end.
a room with Joe.
He
for
is a
an
perfectionist,
extended-
but in the end, I
not a
mean,
good
you see
cuddler.
why. He's not a cuddler.
No.
You try touching a man with baggy eyes and 40 hours
Well,
of no
there we
sleep.
go.
Yeah.
He probably doesn't want to be touched.
You can't feel anyways.
He
You wanna go
tried.
first?
No, go ahead.
I guess the most beneficial part would probably be getting through the difficulty of it, because doing projects to especially. I mean, really, this album was just done by Holch and myself. You know, it was a 2-man show for 2 months, and that was a hell of a lot of work. And it was exhausting. It was difficult. It was depressing. It was embarrassing to some degree at some points. You know, I missed both Christmas and New Year's for it.
Weren't you in the same house as those occasions?
I slept. I mean, I slept right through them. I mean, those were my. For some reason, I accidentally slept. You know, there was a lot of sacrifice over 2 months, and the best. Even though that sounds all awful, but coming out alive and like and having at least knowing that like you finish it to a certain degree, because I could have worked on it probably for another 2 months if I wanted to. But just the positive is for me in regards to this album was having it come together as well as it did under such circumstances. And I guess, you know, the negative. I mean, I don't really know what the negative would be.
Well, I think you discussed some of that. It was like the lack of sleep. I mean, you obviously missed 2 important holidays, and some people's
I'm not much
eyes.
of a holiday person, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, there was like, I didn't, you know, there was. Most people would be like, "You didn't go out on New Year's? What's wrong with you?" I'm like, "Well, you know, priorities, you know." But
My album releases tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
I need to watch the computer screen all day.
so I think, you know, it was a boot camp really for that, and especially trying to write and make it sound like make it somewhat transparent, you know, without getting messy. And you know, so it's taking the negatives really and putting them into perspective. And honestly, I'm just I would only assume happy things from it, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the response really has been. I mean, I agree with Joe on a lot of things, but the response on this album has been absolutely fantastic, and
I love it.
oh, thanks.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So and that's always nice. I mean, you're gonna hear that obviously from any band, and you know, they love when people love their stuff. But I mean, even the constructive criticism, you know, when people are like, oh, you know, this is too loud or something, you know, little things like that. But they still love it.
Even that's
you know?
cool because people are taking the time to listen to
Right.
it and be like, hey,
And that's what we want.
This sounds awesome, but this, you know, could do some.
You know,
You also have to point out too, you guys didn't go to school for this. You have self-taught yourself to create these backing tracks, which is not easy. You are including instruments that you don't even necessarily know how to play outside of a computer to incorporate in a whole orchestral setting. which is very, very difficult. I mean, think of like Beethoven and Bach that did it by hand, and now with technology that shifted that you can do it all on a computer. That's still music theory going into that. That is still you knowing at least 20 instruments in this album. You think or more?
Yeah.
Actually, the orchestra is loosely based about at any one given point about 110 players.
Okay, see,
And that's
That would blow up my head.
well, and there's I mean,
so think before you post on YouTube. These men are geniuses.
no. It's difficult to. I mean, it helps to know kind of what you want in the big picture, because I think that's how we get through it.
Right.
Is we can't explain it, but we kind of know where we want to end up at, and we know when we go one direction and it doesn't work out, we say, okay, nope. And sometimes sometimes we mess up, and it turns into something awesome. Because I mean, trust me, I think I've admitted to this on this station before. I don't know a lot of music theory. I barely know how to play guitar, honestly. Like if people play,
He plays a 9-string bass.
Yeah.
Nothing to brag about.
They play an F sharp. I'm just like I'll play. I know what I want to hear, and I just
Right.
figure
It's
it out.
a lot of our stuff is by ear.
Yeah,
It's
we
what
write by
we
ear.
want to hear, and I don't know. It's always worked out really well.
I mean, you
it's almost more enjoyable.
Stop talking yourselves down. Seriously,
No.
for just hearing it by ear, what you have created is more than most people can do. And you might say you might not know theory, but I mean, I know some people that know theory, and what you've done, they probably wouldn't be able to create.
Well, that's not. I mean, that's not my fault. But it's just. I think when we write, we have a lot of images, and that's why
Right.
the story concept
what-
helps
yeah.
out. So when we start talking about a specific song and what it means, and like the aspects of like what we see picture wise, like in our heads, we just. And the nice thing about this album is we didn't. It was messed up actually because we didn't have the time to experiment. And this is something I talked to Dave with, because I found something out about myself as an artist in that 1 month rush fest, so to speak, of getting that album done. Is that when you don't have the luxury of time, you just let everything happen.
Mm-hmm.
You don't second guess it. You don't sit back and be like, I wonder if this kick drum sample is going to be, and then a month later, I'm going to change this sample. And no, actually, this riff's stupid. You just let it out and you commit to it. And that everything on Xenon was just let out and committed to. And ironically enough, it makes everything we've done in the past look silly.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can really tell with a lot of this album, in my opinion. There's more emotion throughout the album. It's our most dynamic, album that we've written yet. So
I mean, besides-
musically and emotionally. So
Yeah, I mean, besides the fact that as any artist gets better with time, and song structures and all that stuff, it's just I like the circumstance. I found my rhythm under immense pressure, and that's I prefer it at that point. I think it's actually more beneficial. I can't do it like I did last time because I think it was almost borderline unhealthy.
borderline.
It was okay,
You drink 3 rock stars a day.
Oh, that's on
That's
on a good
like
day.
that's like today.
That-
Right,
I-
right.
Yeah, I was like, there's another one in the car.
You can't say
so.
it was just in the 2 months. I mean, you were
No, that was
drinking-
probably like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
My God.
Yeah.
whatever, guys.
the insides of Joe.
Whatever,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
They're neon.
What I thought was cool though is for those that order the USB, and thank you guys for giving us a copy. You have your whole 10-year discography that you had available that you released for those lucky few that actually got one of the 100 you said that you made of
we
those.
100, and I think,
So
There's still some
that's-
left.
I think there's some left.
that's
Yeah.
pretty awesome to be able to just see how you guys have grown from the beginning to see
If
where you've come now.
You've never heard our 2004
And I'm
demo.
excited to hear it.
That's
man.
hold that phrase.
Well, I mean, you released it, so
Excited to
I'm
hear.
going to seriously.
The only reason we decided to put that on is so people can contrast. Because I mean, it is.
But you know what? There are
Is
some.
it? Do you think it's bad? Is that what you're saying?
Hear that too?
Oh my god,
Someone's knocking at the door.
that was creepy. Like, no joke. We just heard a knocking
was
sound
cool.
that sounded like someone was tapping on the... I think this place might be haunted.
Oh no.
That was weird. It's the ghost of Josh.
Maybe it's the chicks
walking
trying
around
to
the
get in.
studio.
Oh yeah,
Super
where's those
weird.
lesbian checks?
Hey, hot chicks.
Yeah.
Really
it
quickly
up.
before we go to Luca's pick of the week, I wanted to get your feedback. What did your wife think when you released the album? With how much effort you put into this band, what is her take on everything?
I think she's really happy. I mean, she's always supported us, and I mean, she puts up with me being gone for long periods of time, and being with my other wife over here. So I think she's very supportive, and I
The
couldn't be
background noise
happier.
when you make love in the end.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's,
Listen to my voice.
yeah. Listen to how sweet I sound. Check out my moves. So yeah.
Well, the first unsigned band pick of 2014 is Seconds Away.
Now it's time for
Hey man, look what I found.
Only on the Metal Experience.
Woo woo! All the way from Yorkshire, UK. With the demo out now, Merchant Music, links on Facebook. The band Cognizance, spelled, let me spell that, Cognizance, with the song Clones of the Night Sky featuring Sasha Laskow. Let's do it.
You're listening to the Metal Experience.
What was
Well,
that?
anyway,
What was that?
That
Dave?
was
That wasn't- okay.
this band Cognizance, spelled Cognizance, with the song "Clones of the Night Sky" featuring Sasha Laskow from Yorkshire, UK. Their demo is out now, and merch and music links on their Facebook page. That was pretty badass. But we are in the studio with Mechina, and these boys need to take a pee-pee break, so we're gonna play another twofer for you. And what are the next two songs you guys got for us?
The next one is Phaedra.
Phaedra.
And
Sounds like a
then-
dragon. It's probably not, though.
It's not.
It's not.
And then Thalos.
Well, let's
Another
do it.
T.
listening to the Metal Experience. Only on Slam Internet Radio.
And we're back. This is a Metal Experience, and we've been here with Mechina. And that last song left you on a cliffhanger and wanting more. Woo! That was some AVP shit right there. All right, so those last two tracks, FT, that's how I remembered them, but I can't pronounce the names because I'm retarded. Go ahead and tell me what those were again.
It's a P.
Yeah, it's Phaedra.
Damn it!
It's a PH. No, it's Phaedra and Dalus.
It was Dalus, so it
Thalus.
wasn't... Okay.
You were good. It was a
You're fine.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was like, fuck, I messed both of those up. Okay, so tell us a little bit about the upcoming album that you're planning on next time. Not you don't have to go into super details, but when do you start thinking about the next storyline?
When does basically the production
the
start?
production of the
when you-
next CD.
while the other one was being written.
Yeah.
Honestly, I mean, because it's all connected with the story. So we wrote kind of into the next album, so we have a good starting point. So it's going to pick up really well where this one left off.
Probably late February.
Yeah, late February we're going to get.
So, I mean, I'll probably start because I got a few things I got to wrap up now. But I mean, I'll probably start in the next few weeks, just jotting down ideas and like playing around with on the computer and seeing what happens and see what comes to fruition. But really, like when we get the notebook out of all the notes that we wrote while making Xenon 4. The next album, which is Acheron, that's the name of it, and that one's gonna, that'll be out on January 1st, 2015, and we'll
Be back on our radio show within that same week
Yeesh.
to debut.
yeah. So I mean, we this time we're not gonna go all the way to the end,
Right.
and then start it. We learned a lot this time, and I want to use that. Experience and like discovery of certain elements and be able to expand on them as we go. So, we'll start soon and then, have a good 6-month window of being able to really produce it down and make it. I mean, a few people are like, how are you going to top Easy? And I'm like, are you kidding me? It's like,
There's no other choice.
Yeah, it's like I'm like whatever. I mean, it's not that hard if you just put the time into
Right.
it. You just gotta get better and better. You gotta try harder.
Now, for those that are interested, Joe, you actually do recording as a profession. So where can people hit you up if they were interested in getting a CD recorded with you?
Well, I mean, personally, I'm getting my own production website up soon. I've had a few websites in the past, but I think it's actually just going to be my name.com, joeteberry.com. I gotta get the domain and all that stuff. That's another thing that I haven't had the time recently due to this project to get into place, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be joeteberry.com unless I just totally set it and someone's going to buy the domain and I'm going to have to buy it off them
And
now.
you're going to be owned by somebody.
It's gonna be Kevin from Colorado.
Great, yeah. Kevin's
He's like, I called in,
Joe
and now I'm gonna
Terry,
buy that and
you are
screw him out of
mine.
money. Yeah,
I'm just now the domain went from $15 to $1,500.
yeah.
So I should probably go home and get that.
What about Apotheca Studios? Why not calling it that?
It's Apotheca Studios is pretty much my own production suite home studio. I mean, it's I never really promoted that a lot because it's kind of like my own home domain, so to speak. It's not really meant to be a commercial place, and a lot of all my clients are really word of mouth. So I just try to that, and plus I'm working at a few other studios in downtown Chicago and in Aurora. So I'm kind of just a hired gun at that point.
Wherever you could make it out to record, you would be there.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, that makes
I have to
sense.
be that way to actually make a living.
Maybe you should come up with a nickname so somebody doesn't own you. Too bad JT is taken. Damn you,
Teabag
Justin
Tiberi.
Timberlake.
Well,
Joe Teabag Tiberi.
I've heard that before.
Oh, Jesus. Well, before we go into hearing the rest of the album and doing a brief outro to the night because we are running slowly, well, actually quickly, out of time now that it's 10. We are still doing the local roundup. And before we play that awesome, badass sweeper that we have made some changes for 2014 just to be able to accommodate more bands and the demands of announcements and the time that we have. We are keeping it to a minimum now, so I do apologize for those that were looking for their shows to be announced. It became a little bit overwhelming to be invited to so many events and then to have to do an hour and a half of prep work before each show, which unfortunately I don't have the time for anymore with working. I'm a civilian.
Jobs.
The world sucks, unfortunately, working full time. So we will still be announcing certain things, though. So for bands, we are broadcasting worldwide. So we will announce your upcoming CD releases, any shows that you're looking for bands to join onto locally. You can definitely let us know still, and we'll keep you posted online and everything about that and announce that. And
TheMetalExperience.com.
of course, absolutely. You can metalexperience.com, metalexperience@yahoo.com. You can email us, Facebook us. We've got all the great ways that you can connect with us.
All the links for anything the Metal
absolutely.
Experience is all on the metalexperience.com. And also this show tonight will be up on the website also, so you can listen to it straight from our website soon.
And then, of course, we will be announcing two bands that are always looking for other members to be joining. We can announce that for you. So it will be a more condensed version of Local Roundup, but we are making it more
there are already
worldly.
Right now links to find Mechina on the metalexperience.com. So if you go to it, the show isn't up there yet, but you can click on
the last
the
time
picture,
you were on should be up, right?
Yeah, every time before that, the picture or the Mechina, the word Mechina, and it will link you to your guys' website.
Very cool.
All right, and so with that, Dave, bring in the sweeper.
The Local Roundup with Morgan on the Metal Experience.
Hey, that was something Joe recorded.
Yay, Joe!
All right, so starting with Vitrioli. They are a band from around the Chicago area. They will be on our show June 10th. They are looking for another band to join their show on January 24th. They'll be playing the White Tavern in Naperville on Ogden. It's $5 at the door, 21 and up. They're playing with Bury Your Demons, and they need a third band. So if anyone is interested, definitely hit up them on Facebook. That's Vitrioli. I don't know why I just put that together as one letter. But Vitrioli, that's a good name for your pasta. Vitrioli. They will be also filming a music video at that venue that night for their single The Downfall. That'll be coming out on their debut EP. Good luck for me pronouncing this. I'm first butcher of the year. That's a lie.
Second.
Damasius. That's what I'm sticking with. So check that out and go to their filming of their music video on the 24th at the White Tavern. That's next week. Black Hour, that band that we represent as the official Chicago promoters of the Pakistani band, they are coming out with a video for Salvation, a radio acoustic version, on the 23rd. So definitely check that out on their YouTube channel.
And you can also find links to Black Hour through
on
themetalexperience.com.
the Facebook, too. So we have all those links on Facebook and the website. And we have just been asked by them today to be their official whole United States video promoters.
Ooh.
So we get even bigger in
awesome.
Pakistan. Woo-woo!
And if they have a music video, we can put it on the website.
Yep, all of it will be up. So the new video will be posted on our website, too. So check them out. A few different bands looking for some members if you're available in the Midwest area. Heatstorm Annihilation. They got back last month from touring Europe. They were with 6 Feet Under. They'll be playing Reggie's coming up
awesome
Yeah,
music.
in April.
I've heard of them. They're actually,
Right?
They're really good.
Aren't they
They're
heavy
really
as-
good. They're
Yeah.
playing with Master at Reggie's coming up in April. They played recently with Morbid Angel at the House of Blues. These guys are fucking awesome. They need a bass player. So for those looking to tour with national acts, they are very serious about making this a commitment of just touring nonstop. And you're going to hate me for forgetting the name, but they actually are going to be going back to Florida to record with Cannibal Corpse.
Oh, was it the dude from someone from Cannibal Corpse, or was it Haystorm Annihilation?
I fucking...
Or I mean, not Hate Eternal.
Yes. No. It was a Cannibal Corpse.
Was it? Oh, all right.
Well, yeah. So they are, getting produced down there for 2 weeks is what they were expecting to record that with. So, Return to Flesh looking for a bass player. Biomimic is looking for a keyboardist.
Biomimic.
Lead guitarist is needed for an unnamed folk metal band that they need to be able to tour, must have their own gear. No criminal records or hardcore drug use is required to be a part of this band.
Only criminal records and hardcore drug
looking to
use required.
Use elements of death and thrash, so if that fits your criteria of what you're looking for a band, or you want to be a part of Lords of the Drunken Pirate crew, they are looking for a drummer. They must be able to play to a click.
I love
must
those
have their
guys.
Own equipment, transportation, touring if necessary, no criminal records, hardcore drug
We
use.
haven't seen them in forever.
Pitch
We need
Black
to find them and stalk them.
Pitch Black Tim.
Pitch Black Productions.
He is the guy to get a hold of. He's trying to help these guys out, create
His
this
link
new band.
is also on the
Yes,
metalexperience.com.
so find that. Never We See is now, get ready, selling women's merch. What? Check out the band's website for new clothing.
And they're also, you can find their links through themetalexperience.com.
Yep. And of course, for bands looking to play some upcoming shows, another Hole in the Wall in Steger is looking for bands to play with Bubba Flex on February 15th. They're still in need of 5 bands. Two bands to play
pretty much the
with
whole lineup.
Hawthorne Heights. And then on February 27th, American Head Charge, Righteous Vendetta, and Catharsis. They need one more band to play that.
Catharsis?
Yes.
Catharsis.
There was I suck at the English language, I guess. So
You guys got a catharsis?
man. All right. Well, that is the local roundup. See how easy that was? I no longer need that 7 minutes of instrumental background music.
We'd have to, sometimes we'd
Sometimes
loop
it'd
it
be
like
15,
8 fucking times.
15 minutes. It was too much. I mean, I already talk enough all day, and it was just like I couldn't breathe at the end. So that was refreshing. It felt good. How'd you guys feel? Better?
That felt good. That was great.
Sorry that we're not
good.
announcing shows anymore, but you can find all the links to your local shows coming up, of course, on Facebook from all your local bands. Do keep an eye out for that. We post regularly upcoming shows that we'll be attending.
And all those links you could find through themetalexperience.com.
Say what? So yeah, absolutely everything is posted on our website.
The website's so close to being done.
It'll always
so
never
close.
be done. There's always stuff to add, so it's an unfinished
But it's
project.
so close to being
Yes.
caught up, I guess. To
So
being done.
every single band that we've had on our show for the past 2.5 years is up there with their shows that they've been on.
And every single
Sometimes that's more than once for some.
for Mechina, you guys are up on there multiple times.
Is this our 3rd time?
I believe so.
Second, first?
If not 8th.
Second.
Yeah?
It's
I think it's second. I don't
Yeah.
think you came out when Conqueror came out.
No, I think
remember.
this is the 3rd.
no, because I can't.
No, we met
So I could have swore
we met
2 years in a
Mechina
row you guys
on-
were here right after New Year's.
on
I don't know.
Claus
only been here
is when
once.
we met
I
them.
don't
That's
know.
where we picked up
I don't know.
Conqueror.
This is our 2nd time.
Yeah, this is second time.
Oh, well then no, you'll be on there twice. But all the bands from the
Hey,
Look What I Found segment, those
That's
are
all
all
posted.
on there. So if you really liked what you hear, you could find their links through themetalexperience.com.
And of course, everybody that we work with, it's a lot of people that
All of the
support
affiliates we work
local and unsigned metal scene. And then we are always taking submissions for music to be played, to be considered for Hey, Look What I Found. It is always a band that's from out of state or out of the country. So I'm sorry, Illinois.
A band that could,
a
usually
band that
not
can't
be on
make
the
it
show
to
because
Chicago
of the
to be
distance.
interviewed. So we do give that opportunity. Not to be picky, but we do ask that professionally recorded material to be used. You can submit tracks in MP3 format to themetalexperience@yahoo.com, so you can send those in an email.
You know what I'm kind of disappointed though? We've never gotten a track that was just like.
We can.
When do you want that?
Yeah,
by?
we can make you.
Mechina's
that by
fart
next week?
track,
Yes.
We will play that
Done.
next week.
I will play that. I'll make that tonight.
Yeah.
Sweet.
And the other
Just let
thing
me,
too.
And here's the hey, look what I found, and it's just you two making fart noises in the.
That'd
I'm
be
good with
awesome.
that.
The
I love
Mechina
it.
outtakes is just toilet sounds.
This
This is what they started with, and it became orchestra noises.
Yeah.
But
This is what the
seriously, you
real
make
horns
that, I will
sound
play
like.
it next week.
All right.
Done.
And then, of course, for bands looking to be promoted by us, we do sponsor shows, promote shows, go to shows, all that fun stuff. For bands looking for us to sponsor shows, you can always hit us up on Facebook, the email, all that good stuff. And then also, we do street teaming that a lot of bands, I know that you're looking to be heard. So, flyers, stickers, CDs, demos. I don't care. You have something physical for us to pass out.
That shit out.
We'll pass it out. I don't care if it's a used Band-Aid that you sign. I will wear gloves and I will send it to somebody else.
Don't send us used
Don't
Band-Aids.
send me a used Band-Aid. I might get AIDS. Not that you have AIDS, but that could happen. So please, please just send us
You got the
anything.
AIDS.
We can, get it from you in person. You can email us, and we can send you an address. Very easy to get your
You can
name out
find
there.
us on themetalexperience.com.
themetalexperience.com or
Under
Facebook.
contact us.
We're very simple people. So, with that, next week, I haven't heard that they're not coming, so we have a band so far as I know, from Iowa driving in. They are called I Cry Wolf.
And we looked it up. It's a 3-hour, 45-minute drive
I
for
hope
them.
they still plan on coming because I want to shake the hand.
That's going to be
as-
crazy. I'm going to give them such a rape
Seriously.
hug.
So, as far as I know that they're still coming next week. If not, I will definitely post on the Metal Experience. I do get that it's winter. It might snow. Shit happens. So, definitely keep posted on if they still come. We will definitely let you know. And then we still have tracks from Mechina to hear for the end of the night.
Well, thank you guys again for coming out.
Thank you
And
for sharing this
letting
epic
us,
CD and giving us the whole discography.
and the present.
Oh my
I plan on
God.
listening to that
welcome.
hard.
And one last
And long
Yeah.
into the night. Deeply.
For those looking for anything Mechina one more time before we listen to the last soothing tracks of your CD, what are those links?
Pretty much mechinamusic.com is our website, and then other than that, I mean, Facebook is obviously a great way to keep updated on the little stuff, all the little updates and samples and stuff like that, and pretty much, if you want to find anything related to us, I mean, Google's your best friend. There's not a lot of things called Mechina, and so it will pop up in the first few pages, and
First few pages?
Well, links.
Okay.
First link on Google.
well, I think
Probably.
I think that's actually our Facebook page is the
Yeah.
first link. So I mean,
It's still you.
Yeah.
It's still a link to you. So
To you.
what is the next time that we will be hearing a new update from you for music-wise? When do you plan on just releasing a sneak peek of a new track?
Next week is our fart track release.
Oh my God.
Yeah, boy.
It's going to smell so good.
Yeah.
probably
Like February, March.
probably late March or April. We'll have a single. We'll do another single that's kind of like the one we do in between albums, and then we'll probably we're gonna try to release at least 2 more songs throughout the year before the album drops. So probably April, May, to be safe.
June, July.
All right. So get ready. You'll get blue balls in the process anticipating.
Oh, God.
Until then,
What are,
What are the last tracks?
Last 3
I'm
songs.
not going to tell you.
Dave, try
That's
pronouncing.
epic blue ball. No, it's the next one's Erebus, and then Amentus. And Joe, care to finish it off?
Action.
There you go.
Triple A?
Is it?
No, Erebus is an E.
What the fuck? It's an E? Are they all E's?
Nope.
Oh. I'm so bad with
Thanks,
languages.
Dave. He knows. He can see him. He's a cheater.
All right. Good night.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, guys.